Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of our medieval Total War campaign as Aragon in the late era. Glorious achievements. We've only got 2 sessions left, 2 periods at which points will be counted. And so I needed to do a little bit of addition here to make sure things were on track. So in the last episode, we got a nice little conquest way over here in the Crimea, basically. We moved over through our fleets so as not to disturb the Turks, and we took this from the Russians, and we endured a couple of counterattacks, one of which was a nice bridge battle, probably coming from here, from Kiev into Crimea. Yeah, that's going to be a river. From Khazar, that's not. So in any case, we beat them back pretty handily. And then at the last episode, I was looking at the points and thinking, okay, we're just 5 behind them. This looks kind of good, but of course with only 2 years left to count points, we need to make pretty sure. So I've done a little bit of addition here. It looks like this is going to bring us up in 1425 to 101. That's going to be our total. And the Russians are going to be up to something like 104. So obviously that's not good. We're going to get one more time to count points, but that's, continuing on that track is not going to be the way to get to success. Now, what they have that we don't have is a 1-to-2 ratio for conquest. And on the one hand, that could be kind of good, I think, for our purposes, because any province we take from them that's not Moscow, not Muscovy, is going to take them down by 2. So if we make sure to do that, we don't even need to hold these provinces. We just need to force them out of a few on the days that points are counted, right? On those specific years, 1425 and then 1453. And so I'm happy to play that game, right? To just sort of sit here a little bit and not conquer too much, but maybe take some opportunistic swats, because I think if we get, let's see, 2 more provinces, that'll get us kind of more near where we need to be. And so maybe we'll do that with hitting Kiev and hitting Khazar, and that should do everything we need. We could also move up here, right? As long as things hold and they don't drop a ship into the Baltic Sea or anywhere in between, we can send forces right up here, up to Lithuania, up to Novgorod, up to Finland. And Novgorod is just a single province away from Muscovy, and if they lose that, they lose something like 6 points, because that's their only homeland. So anyway, those are the things I'm thinking about. We've got a few more years before we need to really do that, because 1425 is 8 years away, I guess. I've got a lot of troops concentrated right now in Tunisia. However, I think I do need them here to hold off attacks from the Almohads, who really don't want to make peace with us. We're still at war with them. We'll probably be at war with them for the rest of the campaign. So I need to source my troops from other places, or at least make sure to replace things that I'm getting here. We can get mercenaries out of here, and there are quite a few. I think actually I will take some arquebus units, and maybe some billmen. Khwarezmian cavalry seems a bit late for them, but you know what? I'll take them because we're sort of in the region where they would be over in Khazar. So let's put them under. Okay, you're actually nice and loyal. We'll drop you right here, and we are bringing reinforcements over. So it's not like we're doing nothing over here. But we do need to keep up the pressure. So let's train some more stuff. We've got a crusade here for wherever. Like we could set it for Novgorod if we want, right? That might not be a bad idea to think about in a couple of years. So let's get some troops together. We'll go for just regular arbalesters out of Portugal, I guess. Out of Castile, we'll go with chivalric sergeants, and let's do some men-at-arms here. We'll just do a few years of that. We can get Jeannettes out of Navarre, and really everything that has a port can go up there as well. We don't need to be too careful about where it's coming from. So we're getting some chivalric knights. Let's get some more of those. Economy's doing okay, 7,000. That's kind of nice, better than I thought actually. And chivalric men-at-arms, let's leave them here. We'll send them up with the crusade if and when that happens. But for now, it's kind of nice to have the insurance, I think, around here in case something goes off with the Swiss, because they could cause trouble theoretically. We've also got a lot of ships here, but that's probably a good thing. You know, we've got some extras, so let's call that good. I love the how the Turks are expanding here. That seems like a really fun game to be a part of. To either be defending against them in Central Europe or to be them. Okay, Swiss going after the French. This is interesting too, but again, it's not really any of my business. Oh wow, Croatia. We got our watchtowers in Crimea. That's nice. Okay. This is a deep-thinking prince. I think that's fine. Let's check the heirs. He's not in the list, or he's not first on the list. Maybe Ferdinand is going to take over, because yeah, Felipe's 48. So hopefully we'll get some nice princes. But send in the meantime send our princess up. I do want to see what Muscovy looks like, because we defeated the Prince, I think he's called, who's the faction leader of the Russians. So here's the Prince Vladimir, who's the heir. And I can tell that just simply by the color of this. That would be like sort of a yellow golden crown. So I'm wondering if he's up in Muscovy. That's probably where he is, unless he's kind of moving down to get more revenge on us. We're developing a port here. That's good. They've got a princess right here. Maybe she's spying and getting, you know, intel back for a counter invasion. But let's first just make sure everyone is loyal. Okay, everyone is plenty loyal, so that's fine. That's fine. You guys can all work together there. Okay, this is all great. We'll get an inn after the trading post. Not that it's going to matter so much. I should get some spies around Hungary, too, to see exactly what the Turks are doing, because if they collapse, we're going to have some very nice opportunities, and maybe we won't have to thrash the Russians so much to get our victory. Jihad moving up into Trebizond. Okay, counterattack kicks the Turks out of Croatia, but the Turks take Serbia. Alright, some strange generals there. Alright, not a problem. 1419, nothing really different up here. Let's get our princess to Muscovy. And apart from that, you know, that'll give us a view of all of the northern part of the map. We've got, let's see, Volga, Bulgaria, Ryazan, Smolensk, Chernigov, and Pereyaslav. So we do have quite a few provinces there that their Grand Prince could be lurking. See, this guy might be worth giving the governorship. He's a blackmailer. But maybe let's just do it. Okay, now there's a Russian ship here, though, so we need to kill this thing, or we won't be able to support. See, they don't have anything up here yet. So what I'm going to do is send some reinforcements. Let's see, these are all 2 stars. That's great. Let's take all of them, and we'll start moving them eastward. You guys are not looking too great. You're a 2-star, though. I'll take you. Yeah, and just keep shuffling. Great. Okay, I don't know that I want to take this fight right now. This is just a bark. It's like the lowest tier ship, but it does have a defense of 2. So if we're going to get into a fight, I'd rather have them attack. Their attack is only 1, Caravel has attack and defense of 3. I don't know how much these stats matter, but I'm going to assume that they do, and we'll just sit tight. That usually seems to be the best strategy anyway. Oh, right, so we had this Italian emergence on Crete. Our spy was responsible for it, but he did his work a little too well, in a sense, because I would have loved this to just rebel. We can encourage rebellion elsewhere among the Turkish Empire, but I'm not sure what would be the best approach here. If they do suddenly collapse, you know, we could go after whatever. Obviously, one priority would be to take Georgia, so that the Russians can't just move down. But I'm really curious about what's going on here. Let's get our Cardinal up there. And we've got one here in Wallachia, too. So they've got some good units. They've got Ottoman infantry. Stuff I very rarely see, because usually by the late period, the Turks are eliminated. Okay, we can't see that. They're making Futuwas. Alright, cool. Yeah, let's send him up into Carpathia. The Hungarians have a bit of fight left, so they may have some extensive territories up north. Oh yeah. Big fight for Hungary, I guess. Alright, there we go. And let's just double check. Yeah, there's no Russian ships anymore. So we've got a couple of boats here. Not sure which one won that fight, but we've got a couple of caravels here. So go ahead, spend money, train more ships if you want. Let's see. Okay, there's literally nobody in Muscovy. We can't even bribe the place because there's nobody here. It's just empty. Wow. Alright, let's check for fleets real quick. Everything is looking good. Okay, we've got an Italian civil war. I've got to learn to move this spy out. I don't know if he was an instigator, though. This is a civil war, so this has more to do with loyalty. So, okay, let's see what they've got. This is a 4-star general. Wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why is he showing 7? Oh, it's this guy. There's just so many stars here. Okay, so he's a mounted crossbowman unit. He's an expert attacker. I guess he is attacking, too. So that's what, +2? I don't know if this is factored in already. And I don't know how it's going to work on the battlefield, but this could be interesting. Let's get our emissary back here, actually. Because the Turks don't have a fleet in the Sea of Crete. Basically, they would need to move a ship over next year and then invade. But if I get down here, and if the rebels win, and I bribe them, then that could get me the island of Crete, which would be very nice. The Italians don't have too much impact on everything else. They're allied with my enemies, the Almohads, so you know they're not much good to me. All right, and here's this jihad, which doesn't look too great, but the is it the Sultan of the Turks? Where's the Caliph? I think that's Caliph is for the Almohads. In any case, we can now move troops back here to Crimea. Okay, how do I want to do this? We could do a crusade over to Muscovy and deny them 6 points. That might be the easiest thing to do. We've got all the ships we need. We've got, I think, all the units we're going to need. And we probably would go to Novgorod and then Muscovy. So let's bring her down. let's go to Chernigov and then, yeah, and then swing east. We don't have that many agents up here, which is fine. Okay, the Polish right here. Carpathia looks Turkish, which I guess is unsurprising. And let's go check out Hungary itself. Interesting. Somehow they've managed to hold on. All right, let's go to Austria with you. Okay, we've got a cardinal in Prussia as well. All right, let's check Volhynia. I think that's probably Polish. I'm really surprised how much the English are still in the game, because they've just had their core territory completely gutted. But I guess it's the pressure that the Swiss are putting on the French, preventing them from capitalizing on that. Okay, yep. The Turks move into Croatia again. King of Poland has been captured and executed. I think that was an attack on rebels that failed. I think they went for Pomerania. And the Italians are gone. All right. Wow. So we've got to see what we can do here. Yeah, there's no Turkish fleet. There's a single unit of spearmen inside the fort. All right, so first we bribe this guy. 5,110 florins. No problem. So we do that bribe, then the next turn we do the next bribe. I guess if we had two emissaries, we could do them both at the same time. Did we talk about why this emissary has 5 stars? By the way, Don Enrique de Vienna. I'm not sure that this ever came up. I don't know who he is, Don Enrique de Vienna. Interesting. Okay. All right. So we're going to do that. And for just a reminder, our rate is 2-to-1. It's the inverse of the Russians. So we need to conquer 2 provinces just to get a single point. That would be nice because we get 1 more. That gets us down here. And it just allows us to eke ahead that much more. 1421. Let's see. We launch the crusade. 1422 is when we take Novgorod. 1423. Theoretically, we take Muscovy. Okay. That's possible. That's not a guarantee. Alright, so let's keep moving our agents. You go to Ryazan. We do need to get somebody in Smolensk, because Muscovy can be reinforced from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. So there's not a lot here right now, but we just don't know. But on the turn that we do that, we're also going to be attacking maybe a couple of provinces at once. We'll see what they do, because they may respond up to Muscovy. Let's see. Actually, are we going to fight a river? Yeah, if we attack into Kiev, we're going to have a river battle, but not to Khazar. So that might be the smart move. All right, we've got 1 million spies. I think, unfortunately, there's not too much for us to do with them. Let's just wait until I get a sort of a clearer vision about this. Austria. Okay, this is where the Hungarian king is located. And yeah, the Turks have Hungary. No problem. Alright, I'm a little hesitant to move out, but let's go to Bohemia and Poland. So I think next turn is going to be the turn for the crusade. We'll see how this bribery gets resolved. Yeah, lots of movement. Are the Turks in Poland, or are they attacking it? Or I guess it's Bohemia they're hitting. Oh, okay, that's gonna jerks. Okay, well, this is good. The bribe is accepted. We got that assassin in Tunisia. Okay, there's another ship here, and this is a caravel. Okay, so their computer is giving me trouble here. I should have launched my attack last year. I wanted to play it close, though, you know? I don't want to just make it too easy. Alright, let's take both of these guys, because I don't think you're going to have, yeah. So we'll split you up. One of you goes down here, and two of you go up here into the English Channel, I guess. Actually, no, it makes more sense to go up to the North Atlantic. Well, we're going to be cycling people over. So we're going to do this and this. Maybe in the following year, we'll have a victory over here, right? Okay, so I'm not seeing the king or the Grand Prince. Let's go to Volga, Bulgaria, and Smolensk. Yeah, Poland is under siege. Bohemia is under siege. The Turks are going wild. They're really ripe for a civil war, I would think. And for us to do a crusade, I mean, we could launch it, but it's not going to hit at the right time because we can't even get here, right? Because this is blocked off to us. Like if we were to try to move troops over, yeah, we just can't. Okay. So we have to try to destroy this ship and watch both of our ships with 2 stars get killed in that action. Let's just see. Okay, there is a Turkish vessel here. Are they going to invade? They better not. Okay, this is... Because this is technically not a siege, because the army is transferring allegiance, the spy action there is to uncover the vices. I was hoping it would be to get rid of the siege. Let's bribe this guy. So hopefully we can resolve this before the Turks jump in. But yeah, meantime, we'll bring up a couple more ships. And what are you? Yeah, we'll bring up the 2-star guy. All right, I think that's all I can do. I mean, we could do... I don't know where my crusade could go at this point. I mean, I could launch it like to Denmark maybe, and then have to go through all of this, which would be fairly epic. Or maybe it would have me go to Georgia or something. Or, well, I guess the Black Sea is off limits. So I'm gonna have to wait a year. Let's hope that we get a good resolution on the fleets. And hope the Turks don't invade Crete. Alright, the Polish king is going after the Turks. Alright. So, I don't think we were invaded down here. A Turkish emissary is going a little too late. Alright, good for the Poles. Okay, the Hungarians came in with them too. Interesting. Okay, I'm just going to auto-calc this because this is just a single spearman. So we're going to do that. Oh, shoot. All right. I guess we're going to fight it. This is going to be a pretty basic battle, though. And actually, you know, fighting it ourselves, maybe we can avoid a siege. Although, honestly, I was kind of hoping to just do a bribe the following year. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer that the bribe somehow didn't work. Maybe it didn't work. I can't remember if we got a message to that effect. But in any case, we're gonna have to do this. Kill everybody here, and we won't have to assault or wait for a siege. So yeah, let's bring the trebuchet up. Just like this. Getting used to a sort of a temporary keyboard here, so this is a little weird. Okay, we've got some handgunners, arbalesters, and so on. Alright, let's just get everybody in a group. Alright, and they're up in the trees. Yeah, we can't hit them, so that's fine. We'll just speed up the battle. I guess they could withdraw at this point. They could just route and get into the castle. Did they? Is that what they've done? No, they're over here. I just missed them. Okay. Okay, so we've got some arbalesters shooting at them. We've got plenty of cavalry to run them down, and these are just spearmen. So, alright, it is going to take a while, though. Let's get the pikemen down there, have them charge, see what they're good for, and let's move the crossbows and the Royal Knights. Our general is feudal men-at-arms, which is interesting. There's the feudal knights. Okay, on this side. Alright, nice. We're pushing him down the hill. This is very disordered for pikes, though, so not ideal. Alright, let's send the knights into the back. Alright, easy enough. So back to the campaign. That should give us Crete. We are going to do some damage. Yeah. Okay. We won the Black Sea. That's a good one. Unfortunately, we didn't have any conflict up in the Baltic Sea, which would be a little more impressive. King Felipe I, magnificent builder, very nice. We're getting loyalty traits all over the place. Okay, so we could at least now bring our crusade in, or we could crusade for a place like Khazar and just get it. Our king doesn't super need the influence, and he's going to be old. He's going to, die of old age at some point, relatively soon anyway. Alright, that's Smolensk. I would love to just get rid of this ship. I guess I could have attacked it there, but I was kind of hoping they would attack me, it being a bark and all. Okay, we've got ships. I thought they were in the... Oh no, we moved them down here, right. Okay, we kind of broke trade because we had to move things around. Let's do this. Let's see, 23. I guess there's a possibility that if we win this battle, next year, the 1424, we send our crusade, and then the following year we hit Muscovy, and they lose it. 23, 24, 25. It's probably safer just to do this, though. Because if we wait, well, A, we could lose this fight, and then we just won't get it there in time. Alright, 1,000 florins. Let's see where we can go. And what we get is a 3-star Knights of Santiago unit with great loyalty, decent command, good acumen. These guys have been consistently pretty impressive. So we can go right to Khazar, actually. All right, so 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 23, 24. Okay, no. Yeah, we're not going to make it. But what we will do is maybe force them out of some provinces. So let's get all of our troops over here. We've just trained a bunch of these guys. And I'm going to take all of them. Just big naval invasion there. Now we could, it'd be kind of entertaining just to send an army like this into Kiev. Even if it is a bridge battle, then this would be kind of the army you want fighting a bridge battle. So I'll bring some arbalests too. Yep. Oh, right. We've got 1 million of you. Okay. What were you? Prince Sancho. Let's bring him over because he is a 4-star general. And we got a bunch of chivalric knights. We can take all of them. Let's just check what we're looking at here. Okay, but there's the king. So we found him. Let's see. Gark, he's not going to be the main heir either. So Ferdinand, 2 more years, 3 more years actually, and he should mature. Let's take Gark over. 5-star general, bring him up here. And I think you guys wanted to come too. We have, let's see. Okay, so plenty of spears, I think. Plenty of swords, that's for sure, and plenty of cav. What we don't have a lot of is archery. We've got 4 arbalests. That's probably plenty. So 400 men, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, let's say 1,900 men. They've got 600 and 800 for a total of like 1,400. So even though the numbers don't look huge here, if I did my math correctly, we should outnumber them. And we definitely outclass them, I would say. They get some siege. They do have, more range stuff than we do. And it would be an annoying battle in the sense of, having to watch out for them. But I think we could do it. So let's do this. Let's send a big army going to the northwest over to Kyiv too. And if we send enough, like maybe they will just back off. Yeah, I think I want to take you. I kind of want to take everybody. We do have the potential to pick up some mercenaries. Oh yeah, let's get some Vikings. Bulgarian brigands seem appropriate. Arquebusiers. Yeah, let's go for some... Well, maybe we'll hold off. Maybe we'll call that plenty. Alright, so if we're not going to accomplish our crusade before 1425, we'll at least get it at some point. This is kind of a bummer, though, because I really don't want to be the master of Moscow for, like, 25 years. So I'm probably just going to take it and then back out of there. Alright, they back out of Khazar, we just take it completely. They back out of Kyiv, and we just take it completely. Okay, we lost that. It's good that we, didn't put all of our eggs in that basket. Okay, the Turks want an alliance. I kind of thought we were allied. Oh, but I think we broke it to do some maneuvering. You know what? Let's say no. Because I just want to leave my options open at this point. Okay, 1424. We own pretty much all of the northern Black Sea coast right at this moment. This is a little annoying. They get 2 barks here. Let's swap or move over some ships. I guess we got to train some more, don't we? Yeah, the economy's okay still. Alright, so what do we want to do? We've got to go, I'm assuming, straight to Volga, Bulgaria. Yeah, our crusade actually gives us quite a few options. Again, because Muscovy is, abuts all of these. So again, if we can't get the crusade points before 1425, we can't get to Moscow itself, we can at least force out the king. What else can we get for, like, real cheap? I kind of want to hit all of these places. I'm a little worried they're going to counterattack. They do have quite a lot of places. And Chernigov is interesting because they can hit me here as well as here. Let's look at my points. So I'm down here. They're now, quite a bit lower, I think. Well, it would be really nice to know what they had up here. I think I need to send some support, though. Okay, we can train, and it's interesting. Because we're in the steppe, we get, there are regional units in this game. It's maybe not quite as extensive as it is in like some mods, but you get steppe cavalry in the steppe. Pretty much everybody, I guess. And you get steppe heavy cavalry, which is like a really good unit. So good attack, good defense, good morale, heavily armored. They're horse archers, but they're also melee. Really, really nice. Steppe cav is fine. I mean, fast is their main thing. These guys are not quite so fast, but the steppe cav, nice spears. They're just good for getting around. But yeah, steppe heavy cav, really fun. I mean, we could build them, but that's not the campaign I want to play right now. I just want to figure out what we can take. So I think, maybe in some ways, maybe we hold and see what they do. I could probably send one of my stacks up to Pereyaslav, and I could probably send like a few units to Ryazan just to see what happens, and still hold Khazar. In order to keep the points for conquest, we need to hold the province, not the castle. So if we are counterattacked and we lose or retreat to the castle, we don't own it effectively for the points, and Russia does. So we really need to keep them here and take preferably, 2 or 3 more. Duke of Khazar doesn't give much. What about this? Okay, we can't really help you. Alright, 2 boyars. Yeah, we got to send something. So let's do... Let's do 2 of the Arbalesters. Did I not send you? Yeah, okay. I bet they're just gonna leave. So that's not gonna be a river battle. That's a pretty decent little army. That's the Crusader. And we'll stick with that. What can we get away with in Khazar? Alright, they got some boyars. There's not a lot of infrastructure here. The AI doesn't tend to build this up very well. Alright, if they attack from here, they're going to be fighting a river battle. That's interesting. If they attack... Oh, it's river battles everywhere. Oh, I didn't know that. Alright, so we can definitely afford to send something up to Pereyaslav and something up to Ryazan. Even if we have to pull out of both of those places, I'm pretty confident that if we leave like a stack, like in Khazar, we're probably pretty good. So let's do this. Let's take... Alright, I'm just going to take you, and we're going to say that all the rest of this is fine. We've got some longbows, we've got a lot of spears, a lot of arbalesters and crossbows, and a really good general to hold the castle. And you know what, let's, yeah, go ahead and train a step-heavy cav. Over here, I think I feel like taking these guys up to Ryazan and leaving Prince Sancho in Khazar, and Prince Gark is going to go up north. Who's this guy? Nobody. Okay, that's fine. And we've also got some stuff that we've been training, right? Oh no, I guess I forgot to do that. Oh, we've got all these Jeannettes. Okay, we're going to move them from Navarre over to Khazar. Let's do that. And check for mercs, I suppose. Let's do halberdiers. Let's do billmen. Let's do you, and let's call that good. So if this works, at the end of this turn, the Russians should be down 6 more points. Okay, they're moving around. Okay, so we're going to not take all 3 of those. It looks like we're going to get maybe 2. Okay, English are coming out. Good for them. I don't know why they don't try for Mercia and Wales, but alright, Sweden's a good one, actually. Okay, the Russians, I figured we would check them out of that place. So we get that. That's 2,100 pillaged. And Pereyaslavo. Okay. So this one, we might back off and just forget it. This is an invasion. They've got a bunch of ranged stuff. They've got 2 fairly useless siege weapons. This catapult, I don't think can fire because there's only 1 man crewing it. And ballista crew is, you know, you just don't worry about the ballista. Our forces, I'm almost tempted to try it. You know what? Let's do it. If this fails, so what? If it succeeds, we'll be heroes. What did they have? More than twice our numbers anyway. Okay, probably, you know, this is time for us to attack in the rain, but... Alright, fire at will for you. Everyone else group. And yeah, I think this is fine. We've got some Vikings, some chivalric men-at-arms, chivalric sergeants, and a whole lot of bows and stuff. Oh, and our general is just 1 chivalric sergeant. So these chivalric knights can kind of do whatever they want, which is interesting. Alright, let's go. Let's go right down here. Alright, now you are on fire at will. There we go. Alright, I think that took out 1 armored spearman. The artillery damage is very much less impressive in this game than it is in, I guess, later titles. Okay, they got some armored spears, yeah. Arquebusiers. Alright, we got someone. Longbowmen just start firing. Alright, chivalrics come out wide. Alright, Vikings in the woods. We are fighting malicious sergeants, which is not the best. there. Cav is holding way back. How are we doing here? Vikings evenly matched. Yeah, it's, again, not a great matchup. But let's go... Let's hit the arquebus unit. I would not mind fighting with them. Okay, you guys got in the fight. Go back to your weapon here. Oh, great. Great. Okay, spearmen have gotten around me, but thinking this is going to be fine. Yeah, we've got some routing happening over here on the left in the woods. And I think we're not really fighting. Yeah, the armored spearmen are running away. It's so hard to see in the trees, of course. But the arquebus units, I know fighting in the woods is not good for knights, but there they go. Okay, these are 98 spearmen. Let's bring the Vikings back and use them. This is where you'd want some light cav, but... Okay, that should be fine. Now we'll hit those spears. Alright, what are they doing? Nope. Hit the spears. Okay, Slav javelin men. Spearmen are now routing, though. Ah, some arquebus units hiding over here. And the javelins are actually fighting longer than I would think. Alright, we're quite tired. Well, yeah, let's come out and take the arquebusiers. Yep, just 4 Slav javelin men, that's fine. They're going to probably just be hanging out in the trees here. Alright, yeah, go ahead and fire at them. Alright, we're going to start shooting here. Okay, step heavy cav. I'm just going to engage at will with them. Let's see, are they going to withdraw? It kind of looks like everyone's fleeing, but maybe not. Let's move the Pavieses over here. Shoot at the horse archers. And yeah, there might be some reinforcements. Let's hit the arbalesters. Some of these guys are just milling around, so they may be coming back. Okay, yeah, they're wedged up. They're ready to fight. Interesting. This is good. I like to see this. We may lose these chivalric knights. But it's nice to see a sort of a classic step tactic, right? The general's still waiting, but... Okay, we're winning. Okay. Can we save him? Well, no. But we can fight at least. Okay, boyars, you're gonna have to engage or withdraw. Either way, you're gonna stop fighting. Okay, we're trying to get after the step heavies, but they're not going to allow that. There is a limit to how much the AI is going to skirmish. I know we're getting into another problem situation here, but all right, let's get kind of out of the trees. Both of you guys can just engage at will. Okay, step heavy cab, let's focus on them. Alright, we've routed the Pabbies. Alright, you know what, let's go after these ballistic crew with our single general. Peasants routed. These guys routed. They haven't even gotten into the fight yet. Now they could theoretically just skirmish me to the clock, and then I lose that way. So that would be frustrating, but there's not much I can do about that anyway. Let's go here. Let's just keep kind of pushing these guys. And, you know, at some point we'll probably have to fight the urban militia, but I don't want to do that in the trees. Okay, here we go. Alright, let's see how the Bulgarian brigands do. Alright, and longbowmen, let's have them throw in as well. Very nice. Awesome. Catching a lot of them. Okay, it looks like they've basically backed off of here. So we'll run these guys up. Alright, kind of feels like they're giving up at this point. There's the Boyars, and I bet they're withdrawing. Yep. This is the end of it. We won. Alright. Sloppy battle there, but wasn't really expecting to do that. So we've got Pereyaslav, we got all three, I think. Oh, we're gonna have to fight for Volga, Bulgaria too. Oh, interesting. We outnumber them slightly. They've got some horse archery units, but a lot of low tier crap. Not really a lot of ranged. They do have that catapult, so we'll have to be careful about that thing. But this is another one where there's no fortification, so if we just win, they don't have anywhere to retreat to. So we get the province. Well, we would anyway, even if they had a fort. Yeah, so let's set up the yep, perfect 3-line defense. So we've got the Order Foot, we've got the Knights of Santiago, who we can dismount a chivalric foot. Okay, I don't want that. We'll just group everybody. And yeah, we'll get them up here. We're just going to go slow. We're going to eat a lot of arrows to the face. and maybe some crossbow things too, or some catapult ammunition. Yeah, where is that thing? Alright, somewhere in the trees. Let's get the gun closer. See if we can get him up there to actually fight. Oh, that was a brutal attack. Okay. I don't think we did anything. Ooh, alright. Our gunners are drawing the catapult fire, so that's just fine. We're just going to stay here. We're going to do this for as long as possible. Let's speed it up, in fact. Alright, interesting. Did they, are they fleeing? I think they are. So very good. Yes, Volga, Bulgaria conquered. The Polish are going to be kicked out of Poland by the Turks. And, yeah, we're just not able to get a break in the Baltic Sea. Okay. English going for Antioch. Good for them. Prince Sancho, Don Osius March, expert attacker, yes. He's an expert in the art of attacking defensive positions, +2 to command. Alright. And that gives us 20 points just by homelands, so let's take a look at where we're at currently. 103 to 94. We basically did it. That made much more of a difference than I thought. But yeah, they basically lost so much. They lost 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 points. 12 points, I guess, if you count Crimea from before. So that brought them down. Now, if we... Let's see. I think, unfortunately, we need to maintain a presence here. Because if we just withdraw and they take all of this back, they're going to eke ahead of us in the last count, which is 1453. So... You know, we're 25, 28 years away from the end of the game. We've got no other goals. The homelands are still the same. Well, let's do one more thing here. I wonder if they were going to defend Muscovy or not. We'll set this up. We're going to do this anyway. We're going to abandon Ryazan and Volga, Bulgaria, at least for the moment. Maybe I can move in. Yeah, let's move in this weird bunch of guys into Volga, Bulgaria. I think Pereyaslav I want to keep just like that. Okay, maybe we'll call that close enough. We can train some feudal sergeants and some other stuff. But yeah, Ryazan, we hold at least temporarily. We take Muscovy, hopefully, with this. And in the next episode, we see what the glorious achievements look like. Because remember, this doesn't change until the year after points are counted. So 1426, we'll see if there's anything different. This goblet's going to flash in the next year. And maybe the Russians will have some new stuff to do. But they're going to lose their homelands for sure. And I think, unfortunately, we're going to be in the position of having to hold Moscow for, you know, the rest of the campaign, just so that we don't have to wipe them off the face of the map. Things are a little silly at this point, but this is a late Glorious Achievements campaign, and that's kind of how things go. So anyway, hope you enjoyed. We'll see how this develops in the next episode, and I hope you'll join me for that. Take care until then.